Recently, I reached out to CAMMUS Racing about trying out their GT1 direct drive bundle, and to my surprise they agreed to send it to me to review. So the question I want to answer for you is it worth your hard-earned cash in 2024? Let's jump in and find out. When first handling the CAMMUS GT1 steering wheel and 15Nm direct drive wheelbase, I was impressed by the overall quality. The wheelbase is a sturdy barn-shaped unit with an outer casing made from black anodized aluminum, which looks pretty sleek. It has numerous push buttons, rotary dials, and toggle switches on the front, which is a feature you don't normally see on wheelbase offerings. The power button is also located here, which requires the user to press and hold for at least 2 seconds to switch off the device, so you don't have to worry about accidentally turning off the base mid-race when using the buttons around it. On the rear, there's inputs for peripherals alongside the power unit input and cooling fan. Another great feature of the CAMMUS wheelbase, which should be noted, is its ability to attach any aftermarket wheel directly to the shaft due to its standard 70mm bolt pattern. And on the subject of steering wheels, let's talk about the GT1 wheel. The wheel rim also feels quality to the touch with a fall leather grip. The red stitching on the inside is a nice visual touch also. The button box is aluminum casing with a carbon fiber plate containing an array of push buttons, rotary dials, and toggle switches to map in game. It has 2 magnetic paddle shifters on the back, which can be adjusted in and out depending on your level of reach or preference using a 2mm Allen key. The GT1 wheel also comes with its own quick release. To mount a wheelbase, there's 2 options. Underneath the base itself, there are 4 threaded holes for M8 bolts, or side mounting using the channels on the side of the wheelbase. I'm using their base adapter add-on here, which can be attached to any standard aluminum profile rig. CAMMUS also have their own software where you can configure the wheelbase settings. They also have a free companion app available on iOS and Google Play stores, allowing you to adjust the wheelbase via Bluetooth from your phone. Personally, I found this unnecessary and not something I took the time to download and use for this video. So the important bit, what's the driving experience like? Coming from my trusty belt-driven Asetek wheelbase, the transition to direct drive was night and day honestly, and from the moment I first loaded up and started driving, I could immediately feel the difference. The car just felt more real, the feedback was immediate, and the smoothness at which that feedback was delivered through my hands when playing was quite impressive. And the 15Nm of power available being more than sufficient and not necessary to run the base even close to full power during use. Throughout the last 3 months, I have used the CAMMUS products extensively on all major sim titles, with the wheelbase giving me all the detail I need to confidently control the car on each. I've seen from looking at other reviews that compared to higher end wheelbases, the CAMMUS does lack some fidelity and finer detail. However, I can't really say that as I have yet to test any other direct drive offering. All I can say that is in my personal experience, the feedback received from the base itself was ample for me to know exactly what the car was doing, how the weight was being transferred through the corners, and when over and understeer was occurring. And that's good enough for me. Now I want to touch on some of the issues I've experienced since using the CAMMUS GT1 bundle, as albeit a perfectly good product offering for the price, I still feel like there's some areas where CAMMUS could certainly improve things. One of the struggles I had when I received the CAMMUS GT1 bundle was to actually assemble the wheel and attach it to the wheelbase using the included quick release. The instructions that came with the products left a lot to be desired, and even when looking online for their digital manuals, I found them hard to locate and minimal in information. We've all heard the term first impressions matter, so I would certainly like to see CAMMUS provide more comprehensive manuals with their products to ensure their users can confidently assemble and start using their products from the moment they receive them. More than a few times I've loaded up my favourite sim title to realise that there is no force feedback coming through the wheelbase. This then requires me to close the game, switch off the wheelbase and reboot everything, which of course is not ideal. An inconvenient issue I have no doubt they can easily sort on the software side of things. Since CAMMUS ship their products from China, there's inevitably shipping and import fees that come attached if ordering to Europe or America. However, they have now set up overseas warehouses in the following 6 countries, which now means you can order their products from the closest warehouse to you. Just be sure before you do order to see if there'll still be any shipping or import fees to receive the products, as these costs can quickly add up and make your new purchase a lot more expensive than you may have first budgeted for. Whilst there's plenty of buttons available on both the GT1 wheel and wheelbase to map in game, I still found myself short of inputs for most of my regular sim titles. This is largely due to the fact that the buttons on the wheelbase are best set to inputs not regularly used whilst on track, as it's hard to see and use these buttons whilst driving. So this just leaves the wheel, and whilst this does have a few button inputs, I still felt it wasn't enough to map all the functions I usually do. Not the biggest issue in the world, but maybe something to think about if you're using a Formula style wheel currently with lots of inputs and thinking of investing in something like a GT1 rim. Whilst I like the accompanying software, I did notice that some of the larger sim titles, including iRacing and AMS2, were not available as options to create wheel setting presets for, which was surprising. Hopefully something they can easily add in future updates. So the question, is the CAMMUS DDW wheelbase and GT1 wheel worth your hard-earned cash in 2024? Well, after using their products for the past 3 months and over 50 hours of sim time, I can confidently say that the CAMMUS products are good value for their price point. The overall quality, presentation and performance exceeded any personal expectations I had before receiving them. And apart from the few aforementioned issues, I have generally enjoyed having the GT1 bundle as my main setup. I think if you're in the mid-range market and looking for a good mix of affordability, power and freedom to use third-party wheels, the CAMMUS bundle could be a really good option for you. Would I spend my money on it? Truthfully, I don't think so. I think with the market being as competitive as it is nowadays, there may be better options out there for slightly more money. But if the deciding factor for you is overall cost and value for money, I think this could be a worthwhile buy. If you enjoyed this product review, let me know by giving me a thumbs up below, and of course if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.